Chill channel where we combine history and ASMR. And on this very, very warm day here in Belgium, I decided to make a video about the American Civil War because I saw somebody in the comments who, he put a suggestion of a video topic in the comments, and as a European myself, a Belgian guy, I don't really know a lot about the American Civil War because we studied it like in high school for a very little bit, I think, but not really like in depth. But I thought it was very interesting for myself to kind of read more about it, I guess. And yeah, I composed this little list of 10 facts about the Civil War. And yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna just get into it, I guess. The American Civil War was a war in the United States that lasted from 1861 up until 1865. It was fought between the northern states called the Union, aka the Union, and the southern states which seceded from the Union to form the Confederate States of America. Fact number 2. The Civil War began primarily over a long-standing controversy over slavery. War eventually broke out when the secessionists attacked Fort Sumter in South Carolina, a month after Abraham Lincoln was declared President of the United States of America. Fact number 3. The Loyalists of the Union proclaimed support of the Constitution, and the Confederate States of the South advocated for states' rights to be able to uphold slavery. So states' rights is kind of like where every state has more control over what is allowed in their states, I guess. Fact number 4. In both North and South, recruits were offered bounties for enlisting. Sometimes they were offered as much as $677 US. For example, in New York, this was the case. This led to the profession of bounty jumping, which sounds a lot cooler than it actually is. Men would sign up, they would desert, and then enlist again in another location. Apparently, there was this one guy who did this for 32 times before getting caught. So 32 times $677. That's a lot of money. Moving on to fact number 5. Also, by the way, if I'm sweating a bit, I mean, like, it's because my apartment is like literally like, I don't know, I guess 32 degrees or something, and it has been hot outside. It has been like 35 degrees like outside for about a week now, and in Belgium we're not really prepared for such warm temperatures, as none of the apartment blocks, or I guess the really new ones, they have it, but we don't have air conditioning as a standard building rule or something. So it's really warm inside here. So if I'm sweating, you know why. Anyways, fact number 5. A total of 3 million men fought in the war, and around 620,000 men died. This was around 2% of the entire population of the United States. In only 2 days at Shiloh, on the banks of the Tennessee River, Americans died in a battle in the Civil War, then then at D-Day, and I always thought that like, D-Day, the World War II casualties would be higher, but apparently it's not, because I am very uneducated about the American history, apparently. But yeah, moving on to fact number 6. Disease was the biggest killer during the war, taking 2 men for every 1 who died in battle. Common diseases were pneumonia, typhoid, and diarrhea, or dysentery. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, I guess it's not fun to have. So actually, like 2/3 of all casualties were victim from diseases. So that's a scary thought, you know. Anyways, moving on to fact number 7. African Americans constituted less than 1% of the northern population, yet by the war's end, they made up 10% of the Union Army. A total of 180,000 African American enlisted. So there was a total of 180,000 African Americans, and more than 85% of them enlisted. So yeah, that's a lot of people, and interesting numbers, I guess, as well. Moving on to fact number 8. Before William Sherman became a great Union general, he was demoted for apparently insanity. Now this happened because in October 1861, General Sherman, a commander in Kentucky, he told the U.S. Secretary of War he needed 60,000 men to defend his territory and 200,000 to be able to go on the offensive. Back then, the U.S. Secretary of War declared Sherman to be insane and removed him from command. Sherman was devastated by this, and he thought he would never command a force again. But luckily for him, in 1862, General Grant reassigned him, and he was able to command a force again. So yay for William Sherman, I guess. Fact number 9. During the Civil War, generals were 50% more likely to die in combat than privates. This is because they literally led their troops into battle. For example, at the Battle of Antietam, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I can't read my handwriting anymore. 3 generals were killed and 6 were wounded. This was very interesting to me because, you always assume generals would take on a more strategic role instead of just leading the men into battle. But apparently during the Civil War, this was the case. And I also was wondering that this was the reason that in World War I, generals were like not allowed to charge into the battle because of their training being too expensive to be reckless with them. I guess there would be some sort of correlation. People learn, and probably high command in World War I would have taken notes from what happened in the Civil War as well. It would be foolish not to, I guess. So yeah, maybe that's the reason why they eventually got prohibited to charge into battle. Fact number 10, which is the last one. The war effectively ended on April 9, 1865, when Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union General Ulysses S. Grant. And I hope I say Ulysses or Ulysses right way. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but it's a special name, I guess. But anyways, he surrendered at the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse. Other Confederate generals followed. The last surrender occurred June 23 of that year. Much of the South's infrastructure was destroyed, especially the railroads, and the Confederacy collapsed. Slavery was abolished, and 4 million enslaved black people were freed. And I also read that the 4th of July was only celebrated in that particular area like 80 years later, because of it probably being a sensitive topic in that area in the United States. But yeah, so these were 10 facts about the American Civil War. As I already said, I didn't really know much about this war to begin with, so I spent some time reading a bit about it, and I composed these 10 facts, I guess. Anyways, if I pronounced certain names wrong, or yeah, if there's any kind of issue with the facts, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I thought it was an interesting topic to read about. I actually found it to be more interesting than I initially thought. So yeah. Anyways, if you like these kind of videos, do not forget to subscribe and like the video. And I'll catch you in the next video, I guess. Bye bye.